Take your event to the next level with Crossroads TV. Professional audio and video production, multi-camera live streaming, audio system for your panels and entertainment, plus stunning video screen production on LED walls. High quality, seamless production, tailored to your needs. Let us bring your vision to life. Contact us today.
Good evening, everybody. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas on the table near the entrance or online at the city's website. Consent agenda items are routine items which are voted on in one motion and vote. Unfinished or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given an opportunity for questions and comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium and identify themselves. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who do wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section for up to 3 minutes. And kicking us off tonight is a proclamation. Whereas the city of Waterville is proud to be a cross-cultural community that embraces diversity and welcomes immigrants from all walks of life, and whereas we recognize that our immigrant residents contribute significantly to the cultural, social, and economic fabric of our community, enriching there we go, our lives and enhancing our city's vibrancy. The strength of Waterville, whereas the strength of Waterville lies in its commitment to inclusion, understanding, and collaboration, fostering an environment where everyone can thrive. And whereas we are dedicated to building a thriving, integrated community in Central Maine where all residents feel valued, supported, and empowered to reach their full potential. And whereas it is essential to celebrate and honor the contributions of our immigrant community to promote solidarity among all residents. Now, therefore, I, Michael Morris, as Mayor of Waterville, Maine, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of Waterville, do hereby proclaim January 22nd as 2025 as New Neighbor Welcome Day. In the city of Waterville, I welcome and encourage all residents to join me in recognizing and celebrating the rich diversity that makes our city a welcoming and harmonious place to live.
Hear, hear.
Thank you. Tomorrow night over at Holy Cannoli, there's an event recognizing some of the new, welcoming some of the new Mainers. So please, I think it starts at 5:30 to 7. So please stop on by if you have nothing to do and you're interested in stopping by and saying hi. We'd be happy to have you. All right, moving on to Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, disclosure of conflict of interest. Any conflicts of interest from any councilors of any of the votes that they will take this evening? Seeing none, we will move right into the manager's report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to announce some good news. We have had our credit rating upgraded after a couple of meetings with S&P. They did move us up to a AA minus, which is great news. They were impressed with the city's overall management, financial management, as well as the improving economic conditions here in the Waterville area. So another point, when we talk about economic development and community development, this even impacts our credit rating. And the local economic conditions are really important. So this is good news. We had a couple of meetings with them and they were impressed. So AA minus if you want to know the city's credit rating. Yep.
So can you describe some of the tangible benefits of that upgrade? Will this affect interest rates in any?
The biggest benefit is when we borrow money, we'll be eligible for a better rate.
Yeah.
When obviously we go to bonds, we'll be looked at by those purchasing bonds in a better light with a higher credit rating.
Mm-hmm. And given our bonding rate so far, the amount that we bond, this upgrade, how much do we stand to benefit from this upgrade? Do you have that?
I don't have that. I don't have a number to give you, but it's certainly beneficial. And the other point, talking about our debt capacity right now, the other good point was we have really a relatively low and manageable level of debt on the city's books right now of about $23 million, which for a city our size is very good. So that was another piece in getting the upgrade. We are starting to plan our council retreat, our annual council retreat. It's probably going to be sometime in April, either late March or April. It is going to be on a Saturday, as it has been in previous years. Unless we want to talk about doing it maybe in a couple different sessions in evenings, but I think Saturday has been what we've been sticking to. So we're looking at April right now. If you could look at your calendars, if there are certain Saturdays in April that do not work for you, just to let Sarah in our office know, and we'll try to find some dates that work for everyone. And we'll probably bring in Craig Freshley, who we had the last couple of sessions worked out pretty well. So please let us know about Saturdays in April. We had our first meeting with the Firefighters Union, IAFF, last week and received their initial proposals. We actually put an executive session on the calendar tonight. We're just going to be giving some updates on labor negotiations there. So we'll be doing that later in the meeting. Also, we are beginning work on crafting the city's FY26 budget. So we're going to be meeting with department heads, finance and administration, January 28th to February 5th to review departmental budget requests. And we'll begin building that budget from there. And per city charter, have that to you guys in late March. My next city manager's open office hours will be February 10th, 3 to 5 p.m. Still looking at some locations, but we'll get that out as soon as possible. I also want to mention the Impact Task Force applications are available. We do have 4 or 5 applicants so far. We want to hold it open for a couple weeks to give everyone a chance to apply if they're interested. So if you are interested in being part of the Impact Task Force, the application is right on our website. Or if you'd like, I guess, a paper copy, we could arrange that too. So if you are interested, please let us know in administration and we'll get you to the appropriate application. We don't have a specific due date, but we wanted to leave it open for a few weeks to give everyone a chance to apply. Just a few reminders. City Hall hours are now Monday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., those extended hours. So far, again, very smooth transition. Things are going well. Taconic Bridge is fully closed until June 20th. We are still looking for volunteers to assist in the city's warming shelter efforts and those severe weather events. If you are interested in volunteering, please let administration know or Teresa Crawford at the fire department. We rely heavily on these volunteers. So your service is needed. And lastly, just please enroll in the Waterville City Mass Notification System, waterville-me.myfreealerts.com. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right, moving on. Counselor comments or committee reports. Any counselors have
we
any
can do that.
comments or committee reports this evening? Counselor Green?
Yeah, I just have a comment. With the weather being so cold right now, I'm wondering if we could get an update from the group that's working on opening the 46 Front Street when it's cold. I know I read in the paper that we might open up if we get advisement from FEMA. So I just like to know where we are with providing a warming center when the temps are so low. Maybe next time.
So
Or this
just a general statement, as has been the policy, this is for designated extreme weather events. We look to Maine Emergency Management for those designations. Chief is here. I don't know if you want to add anything onto that, but the weather this week, while cold, highs are still in the teens, which is not completely unusual for this time of year. But I don't know, Chief, if you wanted to add any more kind of to that.
Yeah, thanks. So our, when we wrote the bylaws for the warming and cooling center, our guidelines are, correct me if I'm wrong, I just sent you this the other night, so
Yeah.
I'm going off the top of my head here. -20 to -29 degrees for an extended period of time, which is over 24 hours usually. Or -30 for any amount
Okay.
of time. So where it's almost 20 degrees during the day, we didn't even come close to reaching that.
Okay.
And I think that was put together to make it a true emergency shelter. And I realize it's cold out, but, during the days it is 20 degrees. So that's the guidelines that we go by, and we look for Maine Emergency Management to send us that. That's how we decide if we should open or not.
Thanks, Chief. Thank you. Any other counselors? Counselor DeBritto.
Nothing on? Okay. I just want to say thank you to Elizabeth Warner for the march yesterday for the Martin Luther King. It was really cold. I was not prepared, but there was a group of organizers that came in with hats, gloves, and we made donation to the soup kitchen. So I really want to thank her for doing that.
Excellent. Thank you. You have something to say? Counselor Klebeck?
I was just wondering whether we could have a youth council report, minimally an introduction from them?
Yeah, once you guys do it, then.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
You're fine, thank you. All right, Youth Council, please introduce yourselves, and, we just had a meeting, so update on all the stuff that we talked about last week and where we're at.
I'm Martin Hazelhurst, and I live in Ward 4.
I'm Rihanna Barron from Ward 1.
At our most recent youth council meeting, we discussed mainly two topics. First, we discussed working on a youth job fair to get kids in Waterville and surrounding areas involved in job opportunities. And second, we've discussed making a 60, 90-second video to showcase our goals and our message for the Waterville community and the youth in it. Yeah.
Yeah, so they've decided on finally on a civic project that is going to, actually we're going to work in collaboration with the AYCC for a youth-oriented job fair. We're going to add the caveat of an opportunity fair, as some kids, their parents don't want them to work at this point. They want them to be more, civic-minded and get out there and volunteer. So in addition to folks that are looking for, kids or people to hire, also bring in organizations that are looking for, kids to volunteer and help out. So over the next couple of months, we will be working with the AYCC to kind of put that together, and that is slated for May 3rd. It's a Saturday, and I believe it's 10 to 12, but more on that to come as we get closer to that time. So, yeah. All right, moving on to public comments. Let's see. Again. Anyone from public comments? Jennifer.
Jennifer Johnson, Ward 4. I just wanted to say how absolutely delighted I am with the proclamation that you made today. We have a lot of people coming from other countries relocating to Waterville, and that number is growing, and it is in large part because the folks that have come here have said this is a great place full of great people. There are opportunities for our children, and this is going to be home. And they're telling their friends that are scattered throughout the country and world that Waterville, Maine is a wonderful place, and it just delights me to see our city welcoming them back with as much enthusiasm as they are coming here. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. John Smith.
I'm here today because I'm deeply concerned about the trends in our society that mirror troubling lessons from history. While we are not living in an authoritarian regime, history teaches us that democracy can be undermined incrementally through voter suppression, the restriction of information, and targeting of marginalized groups. In Nazi Germany, democracy was dismantled step by step. Laws were passed to limit voting access, suppress minority rights, and ban books. These actions didn't seem catastrophic at all, but over time they led to a regime that controlled education, silenced people, and scapegoated minorities to consolidate power. Today we're seeing alarming parallels in certain political movements, particularly the modern Republican Party across the country. Voter restrictions such as strict ID laws, limits on early voting, disproportionately affect minorities and low-income individuals. Efforts to ban books, censor discussions about LGBTQ+ issues, systematic racism undermine education, the free exchange of ideas, policies targeting LGBTQ+ individuals, such as ban on gender-affirming care, restrictions on classroom discussions, and a dangerous message of exclusion and intolerance. These actions may differ in scale from the past, but they erode the democratic values of inequality, inclusion, and freedom. How are you guys going to stand firm on not letting this happen to us? And Waterville is not a great place. Do you want to ask the police chief here, who gets paid $120,000? Do you teach your police officers to violate constitutional rights? I'm not. No, the police chief's right behind you. You get paid $121,000, right? And the average salary is $85,000 for all the cops that violate constitutional rights. No comment on him. So, how are you
Public
gonna?
comment, not discussion.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll ask him later.
Okay.
How are you guys going to stand up to all these issues that are going to be coming up with the new administration? The presidential administration.
Again, it's public comment, not discussion. We don't go back.
Okay.
So,
Are you guys answering the comment from my last time when I had my rights violated by the police?
Not in
No?
public comment.
Oh, okay. I'll go ask him. I rest my time.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anyone else for public comment this evening? All right. Moving on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Need a second. All those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, moving on to old business. Ordinance 27, 2025. Is there a motion to read items by title? Oh, sorry, yes, I'm sorry, that's on right here, sorry. Can I get a motion, please, to read by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, and all those in favor? Thank you. Now, please, ordinance.
27, 2025, amend the administrative ordinance, section 5-2.4, deadline for submitting new matter.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion with regard to this topic? Seeing none, all those in favor?
This requires a roll call, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, correct,
This is
ordinance.
ordinance?
Yep,
Thank you. Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Harard?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor and 0 opposed.
all right, thank you. Order, moving on to Order 28, 2025.
Accept the special events grant from the Maine Office of Tourism to market the Maine International Film Festival.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilor Klepak.
I just wanted to recognize and thank Michael Hall for his work on this. Yeah, I had him tell me all about it today in detail, and I feel very fortunate for the city of Waterville for having him here and the efforts that he's put into this and many other projects. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? All right, can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor DeBrito?
Yes.
Counselor Klepak?
Yep.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Harard?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor and 0 opposed.
All right, moving on to Resolution 31, 2025.
Authorize waiver of foreclosure of municipal tax liens.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. All right, moving on to Resolution 32, 2025.
Authorize the issuance of an over-limit permit to the general contractor to allow the contractor to haul non-divisible over-limit loads on Waterville streets.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Sure.
And I don't know who is the right person to answer this question, but my question is this for a specific one-time thing, or is it for one specific project, or is it just sort of an ongoing need that needs to happen for this contractor?
So yes, there's a bridge rehab going on, so it's for one specific project.
And the engineering specifics of this have been reviewed by Andy.
Andy has reviewed, and he also notes that most of the trucks passing on city streets will be standard work trucks of legal weight, most likely. He does outline that also.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, moving on to Order 33, 2025.
Authorization to accept grant funds for recreational trail program, Maine Department of Conservation.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. All right, Matt, you want to come up and talk about this? Good news?
Hello, everyone. Right, so we're very excited about this award. We've been anxiously waiting for the last 4 months. Typically, they make award notices in September. Here it is January. They had some restructuring, so we're very pleased. It gives us a great opportunity to begin rebuilding the trails at Pine Ridge. Super excited. Over 4 miles of trails need to be rebuilt at Pine Ridge in order to put it back like it was before. It'll be even better. I want to thank, too, as far as the RTP application goes, John Gardner is here. He's a member of the Kennebec-Messalonskee Trails Committee. We couldn't have done it without him. He was critical in helping prepare the application, pulling together all the letters, helping write the narrative, working with the other community groups that we need to get letters from. John was great, so I really sincerely appreciate the help, John. It gives us a great opportunity with a few other funding sources to begin the work that we need to do at Pine Ridge Trails this spring.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any comments, concerns, questions from the council? All right. Anything from the public? John, thank you very much for the help. We appreciate it. And as well as all the people that use the trails, again, get back out there and trek along. So that's awesome. All right. Patty, this is let's first vote for this one, right? So this is just all those in favor?
Mm-hmm. All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And now with that, we move on to Resolution 34, 2025.
Approve bid award to Central Maine New England Mountain Bike Association to rebuild Pine Ridge Trails.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. All right, so you want to talk about, this is this Part B of.
Right, yeah.
So we've got the grant, and now this is what we're doing with it.
Yep. So in summary, we're equally excited that Central Maine New England Mountain Bike Association, first of all, bid on the project, and then provided us with a very reasonable bid. They have a unique setup where they have professional trail builders, of course, who have tons of experience, and they have the equipment, but they also complement that with volunteers, so that gives them the ability to get a lot more done for a lot less. We've had great success working with this group before, both at Pine Ridge and at Quarry Road, so I don't have any more confidence in any other trail building group. So super excited to have Simi Nemba, hopefully, helping rebuild those trails. They're anxious to get going. They want to begin as soon as April. They're assembling volunteers now. Of course, they have their paid staff ready to go. So the funding mechanism, so everyone understands, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to help answer them. So the Pine Ridge Reserve account, that was formerly from the airport fund. I believe it was for tree harvesting or stumpage. $10,000 there. Recreational Trail Program grant that we just accepted for $69,850, and then the balance will come from the 2022 recreation bond, about $78,000. I think it's a great use of fund for those recreation bond funds. So it was in late 2021, 22. Most of you probably recall we bonded for just about $2 million, just over $2 million. We have roughly $500,000 left even after this. So this is kind of aside, but we'll be putting together other proposals for work at Pine Ridge and North Street, a little bit more work at North Street, and also working with the South End Neighborhood Association on projects in the South End, potential projects. So my focus is on making better what already exists, the facilities that we have, not building new courts and fields. And while those would be great, we really need to get things, our existing infrastructure needs to improve, and I think that $500,000 will go a long way. So you'll see the proposals. I'll share them with Brian, of course, before they come to you, but I think we've got some pretty good ideas this spring.
All right, great. Any questions for Matt? All right, seeing none. All those in favor? Thank you.
You just voted on it, but so the projected timeline of this is to be completed by the fall of
No, it'll take at least 2 years.
Oh, I got
Yeah,
you.
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Yep, it's not going to be super quick, but they'll make great progress each year. So it could take 2 years or maybe even a little more, 2.5 years.
I see. Yep.
I also have a question. So the projects you're bringing forward this year would be how to spend the remaining funds. Okay. We are awaiting the study on economic development.
Right, we're getting very close there, Counselor. We have a meeting this week
Okay, do you
to
have-
review
Okay.
what they've put together for us.
Okay.
And then we have a committee, Jennifer Kierstead, Patrick Garrett from the Alpha News Center, and Jeff Tucker. We'll be reviewing with Camoin on Thursday. And then, we'll be presenting along with them. They'll do it via Zoom, so you'll hear that presentation before we
Yeah,
make any
I just wanted to
proposals.
be sure that we get the results of the study before we vote on funds.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, should set up well.
Sounds good.
Timing-wise.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yes. Yes.
I just first want to say that when I saw this on the agenda, I was pretty excited. I know a lot of friends who like riding on those trails, and it's pretty exciting to see them get redone. But is it just going to be refurbishing already made trails, or are there going to be any new trails put in?
No, there'll be new trails. Yeah, almost half of the trails were discontinued, if you will. So there'll be new trails, new bridges, new terrain. It'll be. I think you'll be very happy when we're done. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Moving on to Resolution 35, 2025.
Approve use of 2022 recreation bond funds for paving North Street recreation area.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any questions, concerns with this one? This is now we're finally just paving, we're going to repave the spot that's there and then add along down towards the river?
Well, they
Is
did. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're very excited for this
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Right. Yep.
Great.
That's it.
Wait, okay, so the paving's already been done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They came late. It was around Thanksgiving where they did it, and we knew it
Okay.
was going to cost more. We didn't have time to do
Okay.
change orders. But we're very happy. We think they were very fair with us. The curbing and the drainage and the extension next to the tennis courts. Well, it was all included with the original bid, but we did have add-ons that we didn't anticipate. So that's the reason for the overage.
Okay. And that was in the plan, so?
It was.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
The overage wasn't in the plan. It did go over budget. There were things that we didn't anticipate as far as the sub base and the extra curbing. So
That's the 10,000
correct.
additional.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Any other questions for Matt?
I have a question,
Yes,
just
Counselor.
for my own thing, because so if we vote no on this, then what happens? So
It's already done.
I understand the bill has to be paid, but it's on the agenda after it was already done. That's my concern. So if we vote no on it, then what?
Matt pays it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get your point, it's about the process, and
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't
mean,
look right, it doesn't feel right.
It
Yeah,
doesn't,
it really doesn't feel right.
doesn't feel right at all. I agree.
I agree.
Can you talk a little bit about the workflow of this construction team and the job there a little bit?
Well, I think that just the explanation for the overage was our engineers went out and they did a plan. They measured things up. They looked at the existing characteristics and conditions and put together an estimate that we got bids for, and the bid was within those estimates. It was the kind of the unforeseen, conditions under the ground. They started digging things up. Clay was pumping through. the gravel into the pavement once they started digging it up, and then the curbing and the drainage issues that we had would not have been rectified with the original plan. So those are the reasons. I do understand I do understand the concern from the council, though.
I just want to add, though, I mean, these projects are often, as Matt said, more complex than initially anticipated. Once you start getting into things, opening things up, costs, can add. This is relatively common. I mean, the Appleton Street project, for example, as Matt knows, went over because of things discovered during the construction process. So, I think everyone had the best intentions, obviously. These projects are not overly simple. Costs can pop up in the middle of projects. And managing all these projects is what it is to a degree. So I think while, not ideal if you want to talk about pre-approving everything, these projects have to get done. And sometimes in the middle of them, cost figures can change. I mean, is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. And with the larger scale projects, like our big one with Ranger this year for all the streets that we did, it's typical to put in a contingency of 10 to 15%. We didn't think that was necessary for this one. So in hindsight, obviously, I believe we probably should have, but we along with engineering, we thought our number was pretty good and that we could do the project within budget.
I don't think any of us have an issue with contingencies coming up. I mean, we understand that these are complex projects and that things come up. I think it's about the process, and it's about, this was done in November, right? And we're getting this on our agenda now. I'd like to see a little more timely communication with the council when things do go over budget.
That's fair.
Yeah. Thank you.
Was the paving of North Street Playground, was that on the initial paving for 2024?
It was a subsection of, right.
Yeah.
It was in the.
The council voted on.
Correct.
To pave.
Yeah.
So the paving of North Street wasn't in question. We didn't just arbitrarily pave North Street in November because it was available.
Yeah.
It's just, we're coming back because the amount that we originally set back when we set up the projects for 2024 went over by $10,000.
Yeah, you all approved 78 and
Yeah.
it came in at
Yeah.
88.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, thank you.
He said he didn't
Right.
put a contingency
Right.
in to
Yeah.
this proposal.
Okay, thank you.
I think the other issue is that, the bill's been paid too, so just need a little, more timely information.
Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you very much. All right, moving on to, where are we? Resolution 36, 2025.
Approved use of capital improvement funds for City Hall customer service renovations and furniture.
Move to adopt.
Second?
All right, any discussion with regard to this? Or Brian, do you want to just let the people know what we're doing here?
We're, as you know, reconfiguring the customer service area inside City Hall to improve the customer flow and also address security concerns for the employees. So we had, as you know, as part of the capital budget, a line for $100,000 that was for interior paint and flooring throughout the building. We had some very good quotes there where we went significantly under budget. The rebuilding of the counter and the customer service area needs a little bit more. And so we're basically looking to reallocate some of the savings from the flooring project over to the customer service project.
And because we just learned a pretty valuable lesson from the last one, do we have a contingency built in this one?
I think we should be well within budget here.
Heard it here first.
And this was already in the budget.
Already approved as part of the budget process.
Well, $35,000 was in the budget, and so this will be an
Correct.
additional 20.
An additional 20?
Yeah.
But there was 100,000 in the flooring and interior paint line, so we're just moving 20 there.
Because we didn't
To
spend
custom- 'cause we didn't spend
$100,000
it,
in flooring
correct.
and paint.
Correct.
We now have some money to put to this.
Correct.
So I just want to say that, this seems like it's a very worthwhile project, and we're not being asked to add to what the original amount was allocated for, but I think we have a trend here of projects go over and we fund that, projects go under and we use that money. And maybe I'm channeling our friend, Councillor Gagnon, but I mean, I think it's true that we have to, at some point, we have to say, okay, maybe, you know, we don't just find another project, but that we reallocate the funds.
So I just think we want to get projects done. When we do a budget earlier in the year, these are very, you know, rough estimates. Sometimes once work gets going, they run over budget or under budget. And it's very difficult to predict, I think, 6 months earlier, once they get into a project, if it's going to be over or under. These are estimates. These are obviously best guesses. But, you know, the flooring project, we went significantly under. And once we start looking at the customer service area and you talk about reconfiguring for the flow, ballistic panels, et cetera, it's going to be a little bit over on that line. I think anyone that does large construction projects you can talk to, once they get into a project, the budget is not to a dime of exactly
Yeah,
you know, what they anticipate. And so that's the
I
very
think
difficult
I think you're
piece.
exaggerating what I'm. Well, first of all, I realize that I've been involved in big construction projects, but the point here is that this is a new project for. It's an additional element to the original project, and I understand that you want to make more of an improvement. All I'm saying, and I'm not opposed to it, I'm saying at some point, let's think about not spending everything if we're under budget in one area. Let's not find other ways to spend the money. And I'm sure it's a worthwhile project, but it is a new item than what was proposed initially, correct?
I wouldn't say it's new. The $35,000 for the customer service center counter project was in the budget. It's going to go a little bit over that 35.
Okay, well, maybe I misunderstand.
So it's not a new project. It's a project that was in the capital budget, but it is going to be a little bit over what was anticipated.
Okay, I may have misunderstood then. It sounded like there was an additional project that you wanted to do since the money was there. No?
Same project.
Okay.
Yeah, no, costs are just
Okay.
going to be
All right.
about 10,000 more than anticipated.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I got a question.
Yes.
So is the painting still happening?
Painting's done.
Painting's done.
Oh, it's done.
That was the savings from the other piece for interior painting and flooring. There was 100,000, and we were about 40,000 under budget there,
Okay.
which is great. But that was really due to just some quotes that came in way under, some materials that were selected that were cheaper, and really some just good in-house work that was done with some of the painting.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. All right, moving on to ordinance 37, 2025.
Amend the zoning ordinance, decrease rural residential front setback requirements.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Ann, do you want to just kind of give us a little blurb?
This change was requested by a property owner who has an existing garage. He'd like to add an apartment above the garage, but he can't meet the building setback requirements. He's asking to reduce the building setback requirement in the rural residential zone. It's not going to make any difference on his part of the neighborhood because the garage already exists and he has plenty of land for parking. But it's a change to the zoning ordinance that could potentially increase housing elsewhere within that zone and also potentially allow for better development in that it allows developers to site buildings, perhaps avoiding wetlands or avoiding cutting trees, avoiding cutting into a hill, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And this is his own garage, his own property? Like, this is what he wants to do to his
The person
own?
requesting this change owns the property and already has the garage. But this would apply to all properties in the rural residential zone, which is largely undeveloped. So it has the potential to help increase housing to an extent.
Council Keepak.
What would be the drawbacks?
Drawbacks.
Yeah.
I don't see any drawbacks at all. One of the planning board members mentioned that she didn't like the concept of revising the zoning ordinance, the whole zone, when this is just being requested by one individual. But we have been looking at ways to increase housing and to improve development. So I think it's a good idea.
Well, I mean, also in this memo here from you, like, Planning Board Member Dave Johnson also just set a concern that while it's like a 50-foot setback on rural roads is pretty common in Maine, there was less concern about some safety, allowing developers to construct homes closer to business roads such as West River Road, which is predominantly residential B. So just another concern. At the end of the day, the board did vote 7-0 in favor of this request. And it's going from 50 feet to 40 feet.
So much of West River Road already is in the residential B zone,
Yeah.
and that only has a 20-foot setback. But I was also point out that nobody's required to build a new house closer to the road. They can put it back as far as they want. This just allows them to build it
40 feet
closer
versus
if
50.
if they need it for whatever reason.
Gotcha. Okay.
And David's here, he could, if he's still worried. But he did vote in favor of it, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
He doesn't look very worried.
Huh? He just looks that way. All right, any other questions, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. Okay, moving on to ordinance 38, 2025.
Amend the zoning map, 1 St. Angela's Way.
Move to adopt.
All right. Let's see, this one. Get the memo here. Okay, so this is the, what is this? This is the old, was this a rectory? Ursuline Sisters, Northeast Providence. Brian, you want to just give us a little background as to what this one
Yeah,
is?
we may want to bring Ann back up, but this is at Mount Mercy. They're taking a what was a rectory or a rectory style building, I believe, and making it into 2 units. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's where the nuns resided.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. All right, any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you. All right, moving on to Order 39, 2025.
Accept the 2024 Justice Assistance Grant, JAG.
Move to adopt.
Okay. Major, you stood up. You want to talk?
I think
Please.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so this is the Justice Assistance Grant that we receive every year from DOJ. The only departure from years past, in the past, the funds actually came for Northern Kennebec, so Augusta PD administered the funds to us in Kennebec. Now the funds are coming directly to us in one amount so that we're administering our own funds for that. And it's specifically used for law enforcement equipment.
Nice. All right. Any other questions, comments for the major? Seeing none, all those in favor? Wonderful. With that, we end our normal meeting this evening. We are going to move into executive session. If I could have a motion to move into executive session to talk about labor negotiations, 1 MRS 4056D.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Will there be business taken up afterwards?
Members of the public, there's just ending the, no votes will be taken in public session, nor we can reconvene afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.